Dr. Wayne Alani. Now you may applaud for them. All right. Okay, so they are unveiling this so-called test tube burger, if you will. And the first thing people do is, you heard the audience, ooh. Is it ooh because it's really gross, or we just don't understand it? It's just really weird.
Well, it seems like everything in medicine these days comes down to stem cells. So apparently that's the source. They've got some beef, bovine stem cells, and now they're just growing the muscle, the meat. So
it's probably the most pure hamburger you'll ever have in your life.
It is pure. There'd be no fat. It's the ultra low fat.
No hormones added.
Nothing.
No, yeah.
Just
I think it's going to be really expensive. So
well,
I doubt
it's a $380,000 patty right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not a Happy Meal, is it?
I find it a little weird and gross, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But they're also finding ways to do artificial pet food.
Oh, they're finding ways to do artificial everything. And, of course, the science behind this, or the reasoning behind this, is that scientists feel like around the world we won't be able to sustain the food chain, if you will, forever. And so this would be a way of kind of, I keep thinking about that movie, It's People! Soylent Green is people! But anyway, to kind of supplement the food.
The other thing I was going to mention real quick is it depends on how those stem cells are replicated. And sometimes you worry about that because they can become cancerous in certain, and that's why stem cells are they're regulated.
Yeah, because then we see that with the Dolly the sheep. Exactly. They had all kinds of problems when they cloned Dolly.
Right, so you wonder about that.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a while before that's approved because of that very reason. The FDA is going to take a long, hard look at stem cell meat.
Oh, yeah, stem cell meat.
I'll have a stem cell on cheese,
I think genetically modified produce, if that gives you worries, this is going to be...
Show of hands, how many of you would take a bite?
For money, maybe.
You're right, for money.
Just to see what it tastes like. Curiosity, maybe.
But it's interesting, you're right. We are seeing stem cell in everything, even in dentistry, in terms of growing new bone, new gum, teeth, and the whole bit. All right, something else. Bone healing turbo boost offered by Magic Metal. Research engineers have found that bone cells can grow and reproduce almost twice as fast on a textured surface made of metal oxide wires. Interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, very experimental. I mean, it's interesting concept, and I'll let Dr. Alani talk about it in total joints. But in kids, we don't want the implants and the bones to become one because a lot of times we're taking them out. They just serve their purpose. So it can have an application, but you can't apply it, globally.
Just everywhere. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
In total joints, a lot of the metals we do uncemented, meaning we don't put glue to put the hip into a patient. So when you texture the metal, it does bond to the body better, and that's one of the reasons to use it. So it's a textured coating on the metal hip is what it is, and that will bond to your body better without glue.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about that loosening over time, theoretically.
Right. So. All right. If y'all thought the hamburger was kind of gross, scientists are making teeth using urine. They took cells found in urine and converted them into stem cells. All right, what is that about?
It's all a part of regenerative medicine, and we're going to start seeing more and more of that. What scientists are trying to do are actually regrow teeth. And basically, they use mice. So I decided to figure out how many, do you guys know how many teeth mice have?
I've not counted.
They have 16 teeth.
16.
And their teeth continually grow. So I was trying to figure out how did they do this in mice. But what they did is they took epithelial cells, if I'm not mistaken, they grow them into stem cells. And
from the bladder,
supposedly the mainstream of your bladder or your urine is actually very sterile. It doesn't have a lot of microbes in it.
Well, they do say, like, if you were in the desert and you couldn't find a source of water, that would be one of those things that could keep you sustained for a few minutes.
In fact, the ancient Romans...
Somebody over there is, like, nodding their head going, no. I'll put you in the desert at 150 degrees and let's see how quickly you acquiesce.
The ancient Romans actually used urine from Portugal as a mouthwash.
Oh, ooh, okay.
But basically, I think they're going to end up finding some type of way to grow teeth. Eventually, I think that will be in our future.
We're seeing that more and more we're going back to using the body and body parts and things to help the body itself. And so it makes sense. For example, platelet-rich plasma, which is something we're seeing in more and more therapies right now after someone's had surgery in particular.
It's wonderful. Platelet-rich plasma is basically your own body's platelets, which, for those that don't know, is what allows your blood to clot. But they have all kinds of properties in them, healing properties, a little bit of stem cells, grow stuff, just things that really help things heal and decrease inflammation.
All right.
Very helpful.
This next thing is kind of one of those, what? type of situations too. Patients may someday be revived 24 hours after death. It's a claim made by